Hello to anyone that is listening. I've just got a quick conversation with one of my clients, Lee, to go over his sort of journey from self-sabotage today. So, without further ado, Lee, introduce yourself and who you are, what you do.
Yeah, of course. So my name is Lee. I am a uh, real estate professional. So I work in asset management for a big commercial landlord. Yeah, I have I live in London and have been had elements of self-sabotage in my life up until this year, really, 2024.
Because I remember, I think the first time we spoke was last Christmas, mate, actually.
Yes, yeah, it
22nd of
was.
December is in my head for some reason.
Yes, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I think that might be the exact date. But yeah, mate, so what was if you don't mind asking, the self-sabotage, habits, procrastination. How was it affecting things with you, mate? Like,
Yeah, so I used to like to go out and have drinks and party and not any more than the regular person, but I was well aware that it was stopping me from doing or taking myself to the next level, essentially.
Mhm.
I felt like my potential was not I wasn't reaching the levels of potential I knew I was because I was going out and then sometimes I'd be hungover and then I wouldn't do all the kind of the extracurricular things that I really wanted to do and my hobbies and my side interests and really push myself in my actual day-to-day job as well. So I realized that if there was a way that I could kind of take the drinking out for a while and really like hone down on the goals and kind of objectives that I wanted to hit for the year, work with yourself obviously to kind of like work on how we could achieve them, then yeah, I would be in a much better place. So yeah, that's what I did.
Awesome, mate. And here's a question then: what made you decide to not only necessarily work with me, right? But what made you decide enough is enough? Was there a turning point for you? But what was? Can you remember?
I wouldn't say it was a turning point. It was more over a long period of time. Like I just got fed up sometimes, like on the weekends, being hungover, just sitting back watching the football all day, which is fair. Some people like that, and I like that as well. But like at the same time, I was like, hang on, I was like, you really want to do sports photography on the side? You really want to do a bit more traveling and seeing like I'm big into football, so I want to go see football teams abroad more. And I realized that sometimes I was going out and spending loads of money on, drinks in a pub and having a good time with friends. I was like, hang on, you could be channeling this kind of money and your time into actually doing something. And I think that as you get older, your priorities change a little bit. And whereas hanging out in the pub all the time used to be really, not all the time, but hanging out in a pub used to be attractive to me. I was kind of like,
Mhm.
well, I really want to be traveling more now, and I really want to be working on my football photography. So, yeah, it got to a point. The Christmas period is always non-stop with social events, and yeah, leading up to the Christmas period last year, I found that I had like Christmas parties, friend parties, family and friends coming to see me, and constantly it was we're going out for meals, we're going out for drinks 2 or 3 times a week, and it was just it was just too much. And I thought to myself, yeah, I'm ready now to kind of like take a drink, take a break from
Mhm.
drinking.
Yeah.
I'm ready now to take a break from drinking and like kind of really channel myself and my goals.
That's awesome. And am I right in saying that you actually decided that on the 22nd of December? Was that
I
or was it New Year you?
So I decided it. So I decided prior. I
Hmm.
think I obviously I had it in my mind around the end of November. I think
Hmm.
I then contacted yourself because I saw some of the good work that you were doing in that kind of that area. I contacted yourself. I think we had 2 sessions, and then what I really decided was that it would be far better for me if I was going into this having really come to terms with that I want like a period of having no drink and just focusing on things as opposed to just going, oh yeah, well, I'm just going to go really hard until New Year's Eve, wake up
Hmm.
with a terrible hangover on New Year's Day, and then start. I was like, one of the best things for me actually was we set the 22nd, but I'd finish up like drinking and doing that kind of thing. I still went to social events after that, but I just had non-alcoholic beers. And then when it got to New Year's Day, I'd already set some goals, and I woke up New Year's Day super fresh. I having gone for dinner the night before with my partner, as opposed to going to like a New Year's Eve party, and I then woke up, refined my goals for the year, and then literally just kind of got to work on like a real like consistent, stable pace.
Fantastic. I think that's awesome you've done that before New Year because,
Mm, yeah,
yes, I don't blame people for it. It's a weird one. A lot of people seem to, I'll probably have people in March or April telling me that they'll start in the new year of 2026. And I get it's sort of this thing in people's mind, but you decided to sort of grab the bull by
mm.
the horns and get it done before that, mate. So that's a bit of testament to yourself as well.
Yeah, I mean something resonates with me. People always say, I mean, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, sorry, is the big one because people set resolutions for the year. So people are like, well, after, from New Year's Day, I'm not drinking, or from New Year's Day, I'm going to start the gym. But then even like smaller milestones, like people say, oh, well, from Monday, I'll be going on a diet, or from Monday, I'll be,
That's true.
not drinking for a week. But if you're really keen about doing it, and you've got to a point in your head where you're like, I'm going to do it,
Hmm.
why not just start?
Absolutely. So, what was your experience? What was your experience with me, or with the program, mate? What were you? If you can think back, I don't know if you'll remember this vividly, but what were your sort of at the start? What were your thoughts on it?
Yeah. I remember that we started off realistic. You said, it's number one, it's a change, in behavior that you want to do. So you basically want to go out, go out less, or you want to go into like bars and still see people, but have non-alcoholic beers, and you're not going to want to stay there until 11 o'clock at night or 12 o'clock at night, and it was all about, I think we worked quite hard on how we or how I would approach these kind of situations. I remember we basically went through my calendar and said, well, I've got some kind of event on this night, you've got some kind of event on that night. And in the first couple of weeks with Christmas, I remember you saying that, let's take a couple of weeks, let's get kind of embedded what you want to do, what the program's about, and then we'll start the non-drinking. And from that moment on, any kind of events I had coming up, we kind of discussed it, worked out what I would do, or how I would feel, or how I'd approach it. So I was going into those kind of things really prepared. I mean, I know that in January I went to quite a few different
Hmm.
kind of like work networking events, industry networking events, and yeah, I mean that kind of preparation before was really key. But then also, what was really good about your program was that this wasn't really just someone who was kind of do like a dry January slash, like sober for the indefinite future and just see what it's like without alcohol. You really tied it into the objectives.
Hmm.
So I remember you saying like quite vividly that this isn't just about like, not self-sabotaging, which in your case, you want to stop drinking a bit, you want to drink less. What you really have to do here as well is to tie this into the objectives you want to achieve. Some people want to do marathons, or some people want to I don't know, go traveling or start a business. Well, what I really wanted to do as well was football photography. So I
Hmm.
basically took what I had as a hobby, and we sat there and we worked out ways that basically I could start to think about scaling up my interest essentially, and using that kind of motivation and time that I had from maybe not going out and socializing so much, and yeah, putting it into that. So yeah, it was a kind of a win-win in that respect.
Awesomely. So again, like you say, time, mental energy, mental sort of freedom, to be honest, when you stop self-sabotaging to chase these things. So tell me about this. What's changed since you stopped self-sabotaging? What's the result of that?
Yeah, I mean, so the obvious one is that I've got more time to do
Hmm.
things, more time, and I would say more, well, definitely more like expendable cash. But I
Hmm.
seem to spend my money on other things now, so which guess is always the way. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I've got more time. That time has allowed me to improve my skills in football photography, which has also now led me to Um, yeah, making that into a serious proposition where I've actually worked with some travel companies. So I was
Hmm.
flown out to Istanbul to do football photography for one of the big uh, football teams in Istanbul. I've done things with non-league football through with magazines. I've been featured in some of the big magazines, um, working with uh, mobile phone brands now as
Hmm.
well. So it's come on leaps and bounds in terms of what my kind of my hobby was, and then in my day-to-day job, I've gained a promotion as well, and traveled a lot this year. Traveled a lot, and actually really enjoyed a different way of traveling. When I used to go
Hmm.
traveling, I used to, in some form or another, have like at least like 3 or 4 drinks, maybe each day or each evening.
Hmm.
Um, just in the evening, I would say. And yeah, I've been completely super fresh, wake up without a hangover. I really enjoy, I'm one of those annoying people who likes to be up at like 6 or 9, kind of be
It's a
out
good
like
thing. Yeah.
carpe dieming the day. So
Yeah.
listen, like if I've had like 4 drinks the night before, it's unlikely like I'll get up at 6 because I either haven't had a good quality sleep or I've been out until like 1 in the morning. So yeah, it's unlocked a whole new appreciation for things as well.
Awesome, mate. I mean, there's what's not to love there. I mean, you've gained a good following for your football photography. You've got some
Mhm.
good deals with magazines, big brands that everyone, I'm a football fan. Many people won't be, but anyone who is knows a lot of these brands, and I think
Mhm.
it's fantastic, mate. It really is. And to get a promotion as well at your job's been unbelievable. Have you noticed any mindset shifts in yourself?
Uh, yeah, I mean, well, number one, from there's loads of health benefits which come with not drinking. Obviously, number one is I think that you sleep better,
Hmm.
so you have more energy as well. In terms of mindset shifts, I would say a a result of having more energy, essentially, I'm more determined in things as well.
Hmm.
So I've got a more of a get up and go attitude about like day to day things, whether that is just consistently like going to the gym
Hmm.
or making that time in the evening, maybe to do a bit of do a bit of work on my side projects or going to just maybe even just like having more energy or effort to go see a friend that I haven't seen in a while for like a coffee and actually like whereas before it's like, oh, like work's like been really busy this week, I'm tired this week. Well, actually, like I'm sleeping a lot better. I'm going to the gym, which means I've got more energy and I generally feel better about myself. So I feel saying to myself, hey, why not? Like I could just go out and see someone, see a friend, like have a coffee or whatever, and yeah, more determined and more energy generally.
100%, mate. And it's a weird one. You don't know you're in a cycle till you get out of it. To be
Mm.
honest, it's hard to recognize it. So, Blight, mate, but what does that? I suppose what's the program? How's this your journey, the program, your journey especially, affected your sort of outlook in the future, mate? Has that your confidence outlook in the future? Has it changed any of that?
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak highly enough about the benefits of coaching and number one, I mean, you guess as a form of accountability what you have from meeting someone like Liam every week, essentially. So it's making sure that if you set those goals, you've got someone like Liam who's checking in and saying, "Hey, how's it going?" Or is there anything we can do to, is there anything we can do to kind of make that more achievable? Or just constantly reviewing and constantly making you accountable to the things that you've said you're going to do. And then, basis of goal setting generally. I think, the times of periods me and Liam went through, or me and yourself, sorry, Liam. Yeah,
That's hilarious.
we went through how we went through like goals and quarterly
Hmm.
goals. If we're achieving on more long-term goals as well, there's loads of other things as well. Like in terms of time management, in terms of how I structure my day, to get the best out of things, how I structure my day to make it most productive, and but I'm not self-sabotaging. So the program was a real eye-opener for me, and there's no it's no coincidence that good things have happened uh, in my professional life this
Hmm.
year. as a result of having to actually done that at the same time.
Well, uh, you owe it to yourself a little bit of credit, mate. Well, all the credit, to be honest, because yeah, to kind of bite the bullet, especially when it comes to that habit. As people know, I was a big drinker myself. It's one of those things. There's lots of different habits, and it can sometimes be hard when everyone else is around you's doing it. And it's sort of like you're taking a step out of the pack. It can be quite a daunting sort of experience, mate. But good for you. And yeah, mate, just a little, yeah, if you don't mind, if there's any business owners, professionals as well, if they want, that are thinking about joining the program, what would you say to them?
Oh, yeah, 100%, 100% do it. It's something which has really, really benefited me. It's yeah, accountability, having that kind of support as well to really, understand where you're going wrong, and also putting together strategies to actually long-term strategies to make sure that it doesn't affect you, going forward as well. And it was, like I said, it was a massive help for me this year, and it's definitely set the foundations in place for me to take forward. And I still apply a lot of the things that we
Mm,
discussed about
that's
now, and
good.
it's a year later, so
Absolutely fantastic, Lee. Well, just a closing statement for me to say that you were the perfect client to
thank
work
you.
work with, mate. It was a pleasure working with you, and yeah, can't wait to see what happens in 2025.